Kalima. Kalima Shakti Day.
I feel so thrilled today to have Mola Ram as my co-host here on the Rage Select podcast.
Kalima.
But that's all he'll say, so I hope you guys have a lot of questions about ripping out hearts and stuff.
Yeah, I never learned the rest of the chant. Allison kept telling me to learn the rest of the chant.
If that was what you were going to do, why wouldn't you know all the stuff that he says?
I've got enough of it.
Well, welcome, everybody. We just got done with Halloween, and in case none of this makes sense to you, Jason dressed up as Mola Ram. Excellent rendition that you can probably see all over Twitter, Facebooks, and Tumblrs, and a lot of different places.
Yeah, I posted a tweet of it, and I need to put it up on like Instagram and the Facebook page and stuff. Allison outdid herself with crafting those. She was Willie Scott, as you guys saw in Sparkle Fandango. I was Mola Ram,
well,
thuggy priest.
It's funny, you saying that she was on you about learning more stuff. Like the entire time she's over here for Sparkle Fandango, I kept saying, you gotta nail the "we're not sinking, we're crashing" line. Because that's like the one thing that Willie says that you could just, pull that thing out at any time.
Our friend Chepo, when he saw our costumes, he complimented Allison. He said, "You know your costume's good because this is the first time I've seen Willie and not wanted to take a chainsaw to her."
Well, it's an interesting. I want you to, before we get into the news and the questions from people, I want you to walk me through the thought process of, because you and Allison, you switch off.
Yeah.
Who gets to pick Halloween costumes this year?
Yeah. This was my year. It was her idea.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, we were trying to decide. I didn't really have any ideas. Last year we were the kids from Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which, truth time, not my idea.
Well, you're not the biggest Wes Anderson fan in the world?
I like Wes Anderson well enough, yeah. And then before that we were Power Man and Iron Fist, I think. And then before that we were Gomez and Morticia.
Oh, okay. See, I've only known you since the Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So I didn't see you guys before that.
Yeah, we were Gomez and Morticia Adams before that. But I think that was her idea, Power Man and Iron Fist. Mine,
right?
Of
sure.
course.
Yeah.
She was Power Man. Luke Cage. It was awesome. And she didn't go in blackface because no. But yeah, no. This year, I don't know. We were trying to come up with something, and I was just like, I don't know. And she goes all out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she spent hours. She made the helmet from duct tape and modeling clay and plaster of Paris and all sorts of voodoo. And it was elaborate. For weeks leading up to Halloween, she's sitting there going, okay, put on Temple of Doom. I was like, again? Jesus God. So we put it on. She's like, pause. And then I pause it. She's like, okay, so that goes over this way. And I'm just like, all right. And I had never really watched my Blu-ray of Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
Until you get to some obvious green screen stuff.
Oh, back when they were still kind of figuring it out. It wasn't really the best.
Oh, my God.
Makes our shit look real good in comparison.
Yes. We have better technology than Lucasfilm did. Or Universal or whoever the fuck.
Because I don't know. That's
Paramount.
It's such a weird. I don't know. It just struck me as it's great costumes and it worked out really well. It just struck me as a strange choice. When I was going through my own head, I'd be like, what do you want to be for Halloween? Mola Ram would not have been one of the things that came to mind for me.
I don't know how she came up with that, but my response was yes.
I think that if you guys had gone, Indiana Jones and then Allison as Sean Connery in The Last Crusade, maybe?
Well, it was funny because the moment Hai showed up,
right,
who's our friend, he's Vietnamese.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, no, I told him, I was like, shit, man, I didn't even think about it. We should have had you be Short Round. And he was like, God damn it, I would have done that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, this all was kind of part of Kayla's big Halloween bash this year that she has had every year. I don't know. It's still up in the air about whether it's going to continue.
This is the last one.
Is this the last one?
Well,
is it official?
The last one she's holding. Oh, yeah. She's adamant.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not doing it again.
But I felt really bad because
She's pissed.
Yeah. Well, I know there was some throwing knives that your wife is going to kill somebody.
Oh, yeah.
They walked off.
She was pissed before that.
But it was funny because I got to the party and she walked up to me, and she was dressed up as old Greg from the Mighty
man.
Boosh. The thing is, I don't watch the Mighty Boosh.
I don't either. Fortunately, I had seen that on YouTube. Allison did not, and she was like, Allison and Kayla are like best friends.
Yeah.
And Allison walks up, sweetheart, what are you dressed as? Just thinking Kayla had just like found a bunch of shit.
Well,
put
that's
it on.
kind of what it looked like.
I know. And so the next morning, we're laying in bed. I'm nursing a hangover, and I'm like, oh, here. And I pull my tablet up, and I'm like, I'm going to show you old Greg. And so we watched the 10-minute original old Greg sketch. And Allison, fan of Bee and Puppy Cat,
Right.
is sitting there shaking her head going, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Well, when I
have a mangina.
it was weird because I went there and she walked up. She was like, and I was like, I'm sorry, Kayla, I don't know what are you? And she was holding up the shoe she had her drink in.
Yeah.
And she was like indicating, and she was like, look at my crotch, it lights up. And I was like, none of this helps. None of these context clues are working for me.
Baileys?
Yeah.
Want some Baileys from a shoe?
She said that, and I was just like,
Do you love me?
I don't know what that is, Kayla. I don't have any idea what you're supposed to be.
She was walking around raising up her tutu,
Yep.
showing everyone this flashlight that she had strapped to her crotch. I'm old Greg. I have a mangina.
Yeah, yeah. But no, there were some really good costumes there this year. I mean,
Yeah.
it tends to be one of those things. I think Randy was there as Aang from the last Airbender.
No. He was Tenzin from Legend of Korra.
Oh, see, I haven't
either.
I lag
haven't
with
either.
Airbender. Like, I want there to be 2 seasons of it before I even touch an episode.
And it's not Ong. Ong is how they pronounce it in that fucking movie.
oh, okay.
It's Aang.
Aang. Okay.
Yeah. Ong is some sort of Shyamalan bastardization.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
I did watch the Shyamalan movie before I had ever even seen the cartoons.
Oh, really?
And was just like, one, I don't know what's going on here, and two, it sucks whatever it is that's going on here.
You see the cartoons, though, right?
Well, what? Okay, so everybody been telling me for years.
Shit.
No,
Okay.
I have. I've
okay.
seen at
Okay.
least the original 3 series. I haven't seen any of Legend of Korra.
Okay, me neither.
But people were telling me for the longest time, like, you need to watch this. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And you know what? I was talking with somebody about this before, and I'm going to say a thing that nobody ever tells you about Airbender.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
The first season, for a little while, is very much smacks of kind of like a kid's TV show.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
it takes a while to build up and get the
Yeah.
themes of
Yeah,
betrayal and stuff like that going, which by the end of the 3rd season, when I was high and I was finishing off the pizza that I ordered, I was just like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. But it does start a little bit slow. So, but everybody should watch it. It's still
Randy was Tenzin from who is apparently Aang's son
good. Okay.
or something.
Whatever.
In Legend of Korra.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
There was actually a lot of Airbender stuff there.
Yeah.
There was-
Kristen was Shell. Kristen's boyfriend was Aang.
well, Kristen was from Portal.
Well, Kristen was Shell from Portal,
Right.
but Kristen's boyfriend was
Oh,
Aang.
yeah. And
then there was like one of the crazy kabuki chicks
Yeah. I don't know if I forget what the name of
and
them are.
the other guy with the boomerang.
Oh,
the
yeah.
jackass.
Yep, that guy.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah, and then we had Salvador Dali and his accompanying Salvador Dali painting.
Oh, okay. Yep.
We had a great Julie Newmar Catwoman,
Yes, indeed.
and her boyfriend was the man with no name in a good costume as well.
Yeah, that was a
cool.
really good costume.
yeah,
Um,
that was awesome.
yeah, there was a lot of good stuff there. Made me sad that I didn't dress up, but
There was a juggalo,
Oh yeah.
and when she was going into the party, I was no juggalos, no juggalo. And she just, I don't know if she was putting on a show or if she was like, "Fuck you,"
Uh-huh.
but she just turned around and gave me the stink eye.
Do you think that she might actually have been a juggalo?
Maybe.
She-
I don't
that-
know, man.
It wasn't a Halloween costume. This is just Saturday night, you know?
I don't know. It's one of Kayla's friends. You never know. And then Rubio's running around like Tony Clifton again,
Yeah.
which he did a couple of years ago.
Last year.
Was it last year?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Rubio, come on. And he's in character the whole night,
Yeah.
like he did last year. Mm-hmm. Grant was a great Willy Wonka.
Yeah. I'm sad that he didn't bring his daughter because
Oh,
she was a really
his-
good Oompa Loompa.
There was probably a fight about that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Because his daughter is his number one prop. But for photos.
I tell you what, man, if I had, well, he needs to wait a little bit, but I have seen some Halloween costumes on the internet, and the most adorable Halloween costume that I've ever seen was somebody who dressed up like a Big Daddy with like their 4-year-old daughter as a little sister. The video I saw actually had this guy like walking into his kitchen as in the giant Big Daddy armor and then like pounding on one of the cabinets, and then the kid comes out of the cabinet.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I need to have kids just so I can have a
man.
better Halloween costume.
Yeah, there were lots of wrestlers.
Yep, there
There were
was
several wrestlers.
Kelly did a good
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, actual size shown. Like fully top to bottom mustache. It's actual size shown. It's not the appropriate term.
I was kind of wondering what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
Do I know what that is?
That's not what I meant. I meant like picture perfect. She did everything, like mustache.
Okay, yeah.
all of that. That's what I meant to say.
She even had a good Hulk voice. She would pull out the Hulk quotes on
Yeah.
Cobra Commander.
Oh,
was
that's right.
incredibly good.
That was awesome.
Yep, very own
Amanda,
forum
like
administrator.
business casual female Cobra Commander.
Yep.
John was one of the Court of Owls.
Which I didn't know. I don't read the new
Yeah. Batman,
so I didn't know, and I was just like,
it was cool.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
John. You're not Slender Man, obviously, because you're smart enough to know that's not what Slender Man looks like. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's,
And one of our friends was MODOK.
yep.
That was cool.
It took me a minute to figure that one out.
Me too.
And then he addressed me as MODOK says "Happy Halloween" or something like that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, you're MODOK. So no, it was a good time. I think next year I'm probably gonna have to make up for this year by doing the thing you're supposed to do and spending like 6 months putting together a costume instead of going,
Yeah.
well, shit, the party's tonight and I've got videos to edit and I don't have anything to wear. Like, well,
Yeah, it was like you and Peter
Yeah.
were like the only people there without a costume.
Yep. Well, you know, some people have, like, I'm sure that you guys have, but like the other day when we were recording the Asylum videos, Grant brought over like these boxes of costumes
know.
and costume stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, I usually
Like-
get rid of it once I've used it. You know, so I don't really. I mean, I used to have a bunch of masks and stuff growing up, like a bunch of Halloween masks and stuff like that. They were all over my room. I looked like I was a lot like Corey Feldman in Friday the 13th Part 4, just like horror masks and watching horror movies and shit all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't keep any of that. I think I still have my Freddy glove
Okay.
from when I was a kid, because I was Freddy for like 3 Halloweens in a row. And as I put this on Twitter the other day, it's like, wow, no one batted an eye that as a youth, as a little kid, I was a murderous pedophile for 3 Halloweens in a row. Nobody said a word.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, last year was the first year that I had dressed up in maybe 5 years for Halloween.
Oh, yeah?
So and even the stuff that I had last year was all just clothes, you know? So it's like I don't have masks. I don't have any of that stuff laying around. I barely have clothes that are ostentatious where I could just put on my badass red jeans or something. I don't even own that kind of stuff.
I was
Like,
about to say, you do not own red jeans,
I've always
Grant.
kind of wanted some badass red jeans, but yeah, I don't think I could pull it off. Well, anyway, Halloween. Well, I guess by the time people are hearing this, it's funny because Halloween is actually this week on Wednesday. We're recording this on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like it's already over.
I know.
It's done.
I know.
We had the
Yeah.
big party. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I just kept like, oh man, I kept thinking, oh, okay, yeah, what's next? What's Thanksgiving? Oh wait, no, Halloween's tomorrow. I'm all fucked up because the party already happened, and
Right.
that's Halloween.
You see people
know?
on Facebook and Twitter posting about like I'm making this costume. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, dude, why? The
like it's done.
We
It's over.
we already did it. We drank and no, it's fine. We're done. But you know what? The end of Halloween, or well, the end of this Halloween party weekend, kind of signals the beginning of about 3 to 4 weeks worth of video game shitstorm coming for us.
Oh my gosh!
This
yeah.
week we're having like oversized videos, and we're canceling the Indie Friday and Sequential Saturday just to get shit out there. And we've got this week we've got Assassin's Creed 4, we've got Battlefield 4. We already had Arkham Origins. We've got Call of Duty coming next week. We got
Is that next week?
yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah. Battlefield launches this Tuesday. Call of Duty launches next Tuesday. Big middle finger to your life. You know what you're
Yeah.
going to do. I kind of wish that it snowed here so that I have a really good excuse just to never leave the house.
You don't leave the house anyway.
I guess that's true. I don't really. I'm old enough. I've made peace with the fact that I don't really leave the house
During
so.
the week,
Yeah.
you don't leave unless coffee.
Coffee. Yep.
food.
Chinese food. Coffee
Yeah.
and Chinese food. So yeah, but surprisingly, there's not a shit ton of news out there. But we'll take a quick look at what news we do have.
Oh, hey, and there are new consoles too coming out,
I know. Like
like within the next couple of weeks.
what? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Midnight Launches and pick them up. Fuck. And then we can have. I don't even know what we're gonna do. I mean, I don't think people. You know what? I'm gonna do one of these things where we ask the people at home listening, like, do you guys have any interest in watching us do like unboxing videos? I've always found those to be kind of stupid.
I know.
Personally,
It's like, wow, I get to watch some stranger at Christmas get a new video game system. Great.
Yeah.
How about you show me, winning the lottery?
Like, here.
Woo!
Okay, close your eyes, you guys, and here's what's gonna happen. You open up the box, and there's like 5 things in there, and they're all wrapped in plastic.
Yep.
And you pull there's the instruction books that are all in plastic out, and then you take the thing off the top because there'll probably be a shipping thing, and then you take the PlayStation out, you take it out of its bag, or the Xbox, either
Yeah.
one. There's going to be one controller. There's going to be a little twist tie around a USB cable for that. There's going to be a little twist tie around the power cord. You plug it all in, you hit the power button, and it goes whoop, and then you update for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then guess what? It's a new console, so you don't got any games, bitch. What? Oh,
And there will be one of them will have a Kinect, and one of them will not.
right. So one of them will have a Kinect that we will take out of the box and throw into the corner
Yeah.
amongst
Fuck you.
the dust and stuff. I will use it as the new tool to pick up my dog's feces when we go for a walk. But yeah, so new console launches. I'm still trying to figure out, like, do we want to really make a spectacle of this thing? I don't know. Maybe we could do some live things.
Maybe, yeah.
But
I don't know what though.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we could play Killzone, and we could
Oh
play.
God.
Is Dead Rising a launch title? Dead Rising and Killzone.
I think so because Allison has been watching a lot of stuff on Hulu.
Uh huh.
And the other
Oh,
day
are they
she asked me,
pimping it
she
out?
was like, "What the fuck is this Dead Rising 3?" Because it was coming up like every commercial break.
Yeah, I kind of miss. I used to watch a lot more things on Blip TV, like a
Yeah.
bunch of people who did reviews, Nostalgia Critic, and what VG, whatever that other one was SF Debris. And it used to be that whenever there was a big game, like a Rockstar game or something coming out,
Yeah.
every single ad, every
Yeah.
pre-roll ad, every mid-roll ad was the exact same game.
All of them on YouTube for me lately have been Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
And it's funny because usually it's like, skip this ad. I'm like, no. I'm watching this. And it was like, what? That's an ad I want to see again. Oh, and I did.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Again and again and again and again.
Last night, I had to make sure that Battlefield 4 worked for our recording.
Oh, did you? How long did it take you to, quote unquote, make sure that it worked?
About 2 hours. So the first mission, do you remember when we had that video that was fishing in Baku?
Yeah.
The big 50 minute. That's the first mission of Battlefield 4. In
okay.
fact, I'm kind of curious about whether we should just skip that because everybody's already fucking seen that video a billion times when we do our Dojo
maybe.
recording. Anyway, let's get on to the news. And we might have to we're probably going to take a small break in between here just so that we can watch some trailers. But first off, this is kind of a strange story for me. DualShock 4 is dropping analog buttons from the controller on the shoulder buttons. So you know
Oh.
how the shoulder buttons have that,
Yeah.
squeeze them a little bit?
Weird.
Apparently, when Sony looked at the numbers on this, they found that very, very few games were actually using it for anything. Like, mostly racing games.
Yeah.
So this is going to go back to kind of or at least I assume from what we're reading here that the buttons are going to go back to basically on-off state, which makes me wonder
Right.
how much pull is going to be on the L2 and R2 buttons because
Yeah.
if it's just going to be on and off, they don't need a lot of
Right.
squeeze in on them. On the other hand, I was playing Arkham Origins, and the hotkey to throw a Batarang in Arkham Origins is just jam the left trigger. And on the Xbox controller, that's a long way to go just because you're supposed to just tap it, and you have to push that thing
Oh.
all the way in for it to do
Yeah.
that. So it was a little bit awkward. And when I first read this, I was like, oh, man. But then I started thinking, when was the last time I actually used
Right.
that functionality? I don't know. You have any feelings about this one way or the other?
No. I mean, that's the thing is, I don't care.
Yeah.
I can't remember any particular like use that I've gotten out of it.
I think there might have been a few games like a Splinter Cell. I seem to remember in some games like having like a door opening mechanic where you can kind of push it in a little bit, and as you push it in, the door opens more or less. But mostly racing games or driving is the only time I remember that. But then when I play a driving game, I usually just jam on the accelerator until
Yeah.
you hit the finish line because, we're not really all that good at driving games. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of something to note. We saw last week, I think we reported on it already, that both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 controllers are going to be PC compatible by default. You just plug it right in, it loads the drivers off the controller. That's cool. I love my Xbox controller for playing PC games. This next story is a joke. But hey, guess what? Euro Truck Simulator 2 is adding in Oculus Rift support, Jason.
What?
So now when you're driving your truck down the Autobahn, you can look out the left side and be like, oh shit, I should check my blind spots before that guy passes me.
Yeah, and you can check and see, like, when you pull up and honk the horn in the at the truck stop, what whores are coming to surround your truck.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I only included this because I read it and I was like, this is the most exciting news for one of the most boring games I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Like, you can look down into the floorboard at the hitchhiker that you have all tied up for your pleasure.
No. That's way better. Well, I don't know. I've never played Euro Truck Simulator 2.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, I know that Europe comes out with a lot of weird games, like they have those farm simulator games where you drive a tractor around and shit like that.
Yeah,
and it's just don't care. So yeah, this is just a joke. Number 3 up on the list, Blizzard has released some details about one of the new NPC characters in Reaper of Souls, the Mystic, which I thought that, I don't know if
an NPC character.
This is
okay,
new
I was like,
character.
I didn't know about this. Okay,
so apparently the 2 big functions of the Mystic are, one, they will let you re-roll undesirable traits on weapons.
Okay.
Or armor or whatever, so you can pick one and then basically just randomize it to something else.
Yeah.
The other one looks like it's called enchanting, and the second one is called transmogrification, which is something that I think we're seeing more and more, where you can essentially take the properties of a weapon and imbue them onto a different weapon for cosmetic sake. So if you want to wear that one set of armor that looks badass, you can take that new armor that is cooler stats but isn't as cool looking, and then put those traits onto it so that you can customize how your character looks.
Yeah.
Something that I'm kind of curious it's taken this long to become. I mean, MMOs do it a lot, but, I hate it in video games when I have mismatched equipment. With like some dumb purple gloves and then some stupid green boots. You look like a fucking clown.
I've been playing quite a bit of Diablo 3 on the Xbox, and every now and then I just look like a jackass.
Right.
It's like, well, this is all that was clean. But I don't know. The thing about Reaper of Souls, I haven't read much about it. But you get one character and a new act.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Standard Blizzard expansion.
And it's like $40. Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Kind of depends on how big the act is, though, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, if Diablo 3 is any judge, $40 and one new playable character, or one act and one new playable character, is not worth $40.
You don't think so?
No.
What kind of price tag would you put on it?
Well, let's look at it this way. The game itself came out $60, right?
Right.
4 acts. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's break that down. What? So that this should be what, $15, $20,
something like that,
not $40.
Well, here's the question.
Blow me.
There's a lot of times. I mean, we don't. I haven't read all of the. I haven't read all of the news for it yet, but a lot of times, like in what was the Diablo 2 expansion?
I don't remember. I
think now it's Reaper of Souls, but it was that act was, or at least I remember that act being longer and more intricate than most of the previous acts in the game.
Okay.
Like it being bigger than the previous acts because it was a standalone thing. Also, a lot of times Blizzard, I think, is good about adding shit back into the main game that you get if you want to play back through it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, until we see a full list, maybe. But yeah, I guess what we're looking at there is kind of an interesting concept of how it used to be that you could get away with charging. Let's see, back in the old days when games were $50, right? $40 or $50.
Yeah.
These expansions would be like half of that, right?
Yeah.
25, 2025, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I guess that's about right.
But with the advent of the last 5 years worth of DLC, it's like we've become more.
Piecemeal.
Well, we've just gotten used to add-on content being more like $10. You think about what $10 or
Right.
$15 in Fallout 3 got you for add-on content,
Right.
And it was just like, holy shitballs, man! Or Skyrim, like Dragonborn, or that sort of stuff.
Yeah. It's like, okay, for $40, Diablo 3, you're giving me this. For, what was it, 10, 15 bucks?
15,
I got Dragonborn on
Right.
Skyrim.
which had Morrowind
Yeah.
in it.
Which, had Morrowind in it and let me ride a dragon.
Yeah. I mean, at least with what was it? How much was Hearthfire? Was that $5?
I want to say, 5 or 10. It was cheap.
Because it wasn't much,
Right.
But, yeah, I think that we're starting to it used to be. I mean, just a little history for the people who haven't been around that long. But it used to be that expansion packs were like, you wanted expansion packs because there was literally no other way to get anything else for your game.
Right.
There was no internet. There was no mod community. There were no patches. There was no adding more content. So the only way to get more content was in this one, go to the store and buy a second disc that had all this stuff on it. And I don't know, maybe they're hewing a little bit too close to that with this model, at least with the pricing of it. But I don't know.
Let's see exactly how much content it is. But
Yeah.
right now I'm thinking,
The other
no.
the other problem with this at this point is I know that Blizzard makes these games and they want to support them for a long time and have people play them, and I'm perfectly certain that there are hundreds of people out there that have bought Diablo 3 and they're still playing Diablo 3 and they love Diablo 3, but my perspective is fucked up and weird in that I'm like, Diablo 3, that was 1 billion years ago that Diablo 3 came out. I know it just came out for the consoles, but goddamn, that thing's been out since like 1971 at this point.
yeah, that's true. It started as pen and paper.
That's right.
And then Nolan Bushnell brought the first copy of Diablo 3 into Chuck E. Cheese.
Right? Mm-hmm.
And finally, an expansion.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that after this holiday season between the Diablos, or no, between the Call of Duties and Assassin's Creed and, the Batmans and all of the different things that are happening, Diablo 3 just seems like so long ago. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much coming out. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a point, though, where we hit that Christmas lull, right? That is terrible for me because I've already torn ass through every game that came out.
Yeah.
So you get to Christmas and you're just like, oh shit, there's nothing out. What can I go back and play? I beat that. I beat that. I beat that. Beat that. I beat that. I beat that bit. How about the DLC for that? No, I beat that too. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, Blizzard is really good about continually tapping their own existing fan base. Where you talk to people and it's like, oh, you're a gamer? Well, I play Warcraft.
Yeah.
And they never branch out outside of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting into the semantics of, oh, well, you're not really a gamer or anything like that.
Yes, Jason, please tell us who the real gamers are.
Right. It's just, there's some people who, and it's like if you ask them if you're a gamer, some people say, well, no, I play Warcraft and that's it. Or some people are like, I play Diablo. Like, I've got a friend who pretty much all he plays are Blizzard releases.
Yeah.
That's it.
You could do that, though. I mean, between the longevity of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo, you could totally make a career out of just playing nothing but what Blizzard puts out.
Yeah, but then you're missing out on so much good stuff.
Yeah. But, the other thing to remember is that you and I think that sometimes I tend to forget that you and I have a very omnivorous appetite when it comes to games. Like, some people just don't play shooters, or some people just play RPGs, or MMOs.
Like I was saying, back to Allison and I playing Diablo. She would bitch at me. She's like, "You're playing this like you're rushing through it to finish it so you can review it."
You've been ruined for all other gaming.
And she's like, we need to go over there. We didn't go. I was like, there's nothing over there. She's like, there might be treats. There might be gold snacks. And I'm like, I've got plenty. She's like, but I want to get everything. All right.
Yeah, this is the problem with, and you and I run into this from time to time, in the fact that, like, Allison seems like even more so than I am. But the two of us are kind of like completionist oriented, and you're just like, dude, fuck that. Where's the next story beat? I don't want to do the Freaks and Strangers missions. I just want to play the main storyline and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, especially with the Freaks and Strangers stuff, it's like what, tow truck? Yeah, I'm not doing that ever again. Fuck you.
Did you ever shoot her?
Oh, yeah.
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 And the game's just like, hey, congratulations, you just lost all these side quests. And you're like, that's good.
I shot her. I blew her up. I ran over her with the car.
All right. Next story that we've got up here. And I don't know if anybody still gives a shit about this, but it's kind of a slow week, so I pulled this up anyway. The NVIDIA Shield, you remember this thing?
So this is still happening, huh?
Yeah. They're adding a console mode to it where you can essentially okay, so for those of you who don't know what this thing already is, it's this NVIDIA, and I think the thing costs like $300, which to me is insane. That's the insanity about this.
Somebody's going to lose their job over this.
If you had an NVIDIA, it's basically a controller that has a screen built into it. And the big few things that you can do with it that are interesting is it's kind of like comparable to Steambox before Steambox. If you had the right NVIDIA hardware on your PC, you can actually stream over Wi-Fi a game to this handheld device. As long as you're within reach of the Wi-Fi or you have a good enough internet connection or whatever, you can essentially play a game that's being rendered on your PC on this thing. You can also hook it up to a TV, and you can play it on TV, at which point the whole thing starts to become weirdly self-referentially redundant.
Yeah.
But apparently, as if all that wasn't redundant enough, this particular update...
You can plug a controller into the NVIDIA Shield.
You can sync a Bluetooth controller to this and use it as a console. And I'm like... I don't understand. I mean,
I was joking. You can plug a controller into the controller.
Do what now? But this is the other thing.
And that Bluetooth controller that you could sync with the NVIDIA Shield can also support another monitor.
Yes, you can plug a monitor and then you can sync your Vita to the Shield and you can stream. It's interesting because this is. I think that if we existed in the time period in the mid '90s when I worked for a big company and made way too much money and lived in a rat hole apartment, I would probably buy one of these things. Where you're just like,
oh yeah,
you got paid and you're like, you know what?
That's the new gadget.
I got $300. I could go buy one of these. But increasingly, it's like, dude, do you know I could get an i7 for $300?
Yeah, my friend who lost his mind to EverQuest, he's the kind of guy who would be like, yeah, I bought this, and he'll play with it for a night.
Yeah.
And then it'll just sit there forever.
When I look at the screenshot of the NVIDIA Shield, I can see it closed, covered in dust in a box. After like 4 months.
Yeah, next to your 32X and your HD DVD player.
Well, because invariably, I don't know if you share a similar problem, but invariably for me, whenever I buy a gadget like this, I'll be like, oh yeah, now I can sit downstairs on my couch and totally play stuff like this. But when I'm smoking, I can take my game out with me, yada yada. And then invariably, it will come to be that the Wi-Fi signal is not strong enough where I smoke, or in the bathroom. Or 6 feet from, or upstairs in my bedroom, So the thing will become completely useless to me. I don't know. If it was $200, I might consider picking one up just so that we could dick around with one. But seriously, we could spend so much $200 on so many better things than this thing. I also really like this little quote that I've highlighted down here that says, streaming games from PC to the Shield have also been improved with, quote, 50 of the best PC games now supported. That's another thing where it's like, oh, you mean that this isn't everything? It has to have some dumb NVIDIA driver shit?
Yeah.
Go to hell, Shield. But seriously.
That's a little caveat emptor.
Yeah. Look at this. This is another thing that I'm sure will excite you. Along with the console mode, NVIDIA also improved Android support in the Shield. Hundreds of Android games are now playable on NVIDIA's machine, and the company even went to the trouble of designing a utility dubbed Gamepad Mapper, which allows for use of traditional controllers in Android games originally designed for a touchscreen interface.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
That sounds like hell, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what I really want to know is I want you listeners, I want somebody who owns one of these things to get in contact with me.
Yeah, let us know.
And tell me, like, is it any good reason to drop? I mean,
sounds like a waste of money.
Or hell, even if you don't have one, I want you guys in the comments who are the eternal optimists who like to be the anti-Rage Select folks to come up with a really good reason why a human being would want one of these things over, say, a console.
Right. Like, well, I could buy this thing that plays 50 of the best PC games.
Right.
Or I could get
a PlayStation 3, a year of PlayStation Plus, and hundreds of video games. All right, next up is a sad story, Jason.
Wah, wah. What is it?
I don't know if you know this, but you didn't see this at E3, but I did. This company that works for the EA Victory Games was making a new Command & Conquer that was based on the Generals franchise.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I love.
We talked about that.
Generals, yeah. It was going to be a free-to-play, mainly multiplayer focused, but with some like horde mode kind of stuff. Essentially, relaunch of Command & Conquer. EA has canceled the project, closed the studio that was making it, which sucks because I played this thing and it seemed like it was a good 75% done, and I liked what I saw of it.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of multiplayer, but still, any excuse to get back into Generals, I really liked it.
Well, this, man, Command & Conquer used to be the big man on campus.
Yeah.
Oh, 20 years ago.
I mean,
But still.
what was the last Command & Conquer game that you played?
Oh, hell.
Red Alert 3. I played
Probably. It was probably Red Alert 3.
And there was, 4? CNC 4 was the last one.
I didn't play that.
Because 3, they brought back Kane.
Yeah.
And then 4, they had that new mechanic that was like you could move you had a mobile base.
Yeah.
You could move around type of thing. I don't know. Like, it never seems like they managed to find their niche. But
So, canceled.
Yep. I like this quote. Your feedback from the alpha trial is clear. We are not making the game you want to play. That is why, after much difficult deliberation, we have decided to cease production of this version of the game. Although we deeply respect the great work done by our talented team, ultimately, it's about getting you the game you expect and deserve. And now, all I'm going to say here, Jason, nobody asked Jeff. Nobody asked Jeff whether this was the game that he wanted to play. Because this was kind of totally the game that Jeff wanted to play, and nobody bothered to give me a call.
Yeah. Your feedback from the alpha trial is clear. We are not making the game you want to play, unless your name is Jeff.
That's right. It looks like
Command & Conquer for Jeff.
For Jeff. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'll play that game. Also, it looks like EA is being pretty cool about this, and it looks like they're trying to give the people from Victory Games opportunities to get hired onto other teams inside of EA, so they're not just like throwing them all out on the street.
I've been in that position of being in a big company where they're like, well, if you can find another job in the company, we'd love to have you. You've got 2 weeks. Good luck, sucker.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's not like, hey, we have an opening over here that you may like. It's like,
No.
hey, submit your application along with everybody else, and we'll
Yep.
put it at the top of the stack.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that sucks. All right, you know what? We're going to take a real quick break here and watch a few trailers, because we want to look at a few trailers, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back with 3 trailers that we got to watch. The first one was comedy
man.
gold, man. I'm just watching this thing and giggling. If you guys haven't seen this Xbox One dashboard video,
Yeah, put the link up when the podcast goes up.
okay, I'm pretty sure they could probably find it. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds long, and it is apparently recorded by a sufferer of some extreme
Yeah.
ADD.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
he's in the middle of a Coke bender while exploring his Xbox One.
Right. If you guys haven't seen this video, just to recap, it's basically somebody doing everything you can do with the voice controls on Xbox One in like a minute.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He's like, Xbox Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And he watches that for like 10 seconds.
And then Xbox Titanfall.
Right.
Jumps into Titanfall.
No, then he says, join a group chat. And then he's like, oh, and then your friends play Titanfall. All right, Xbox, play Titanfall. And then it switches over to Titanfall. And then he's like, Xbox, start recording while I run forward for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like, Xbox, post to social media.
Yeah.
And then Xbox TV, because now I need to watch some TV.
Yeah, and he immediately switches to like Sleepy Hollow or something.
Yeah.
And then Xbox snap to Internet Explorer or
Right.
something like that.
Which he doesn't do shit with. It
Yeah.
just pops up Bing.
And then he gets a call on Skype, and it's just like, and that poor guy's like, "Hey, you still coming over?" Yeah. Xbox, tell this guy to fuck off.
That's right. I love that because he's in the middle of doing 12 things, and his friend's like, "Are you coming over later?" I just expect to be like, "No, man, I got the new Xbox One, bro. I'm watching. I need to switch between Titanfall and Pacific Rim in 10-second intervals."
I think when we do get our hands on one,
Uh-huh.
I think we need to try to recreate that.
You want to make that video?
I think so.
We could totally make that video, man.
because it'll be Xbox, Xbox Pacific Rim,
Did you mean
Xbox Pacific Rim.
Did you mean pornography rim?
Yes, that's a better idea. Xbox.
Yeah, that was. I mean, like, okay. So here's the thing, and I think it's the only pertinent question from this is that. Do you want to take some bets right now about whether it's going to be as fast and responsive as they're showing it?
I'm gonna. Yes, I will say that
If you're not using the Kinect, obviously. If you're
you've
just,
got to be fucking kidding me. It is
Right.
not going to be that fast.
you don't think so?
No.
I think it could be, man.
Well, okay. Without the Kinect,
Yeah.
okay, possibly. Yeah, sure. I could see that. But with the Kinect, hell no.
Yeah?
Hell no.
Yeah.
I bet if you try to recreate that commercial right there, exactly, it will take you 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, we've got a challenge. So when the Xbox One comes out,
Yeah.
we'll have a whole video like where we could just trade. We could trade turns. We can see whose voice does it understand more. The dulcet tones of Jason Murphy or my nasally screaming. Xbox, you motherfucker! Put on Pacific Rim. Put on 3 versions of Pacific Rim
And Titanfall.
and Titanfall.
And call Jason.
I tell you what, whatever happened to picture in picture? You remember that? You used to be on
Yeah.
the TVs and shit?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be perfect for this instead of switching between?
I
if
think you can.
If you're just like, yo, Xbox One, I want to watch Pacific Rim while I play Titanfall
Yeah.
and talk to my friend on Skype. What?
At least they got away from, Xbox basketball, Xbox Fantasy Basketball League
right.
over on the side. It's like, who do you think you're talking to right now? People who don't care about this shit.
Well, I don't know.
I know there are.
There's a lot of people who probably care about that shit.
Nobody who was watching that, though.
Well, speaking of shit that nobody cares about, there's also a new trailer out this week for they're changing the Call of Duty zombie mode to extinction.
just aliens.
Yes, which actually from this trailer looks a lot more like horde mode than it does like zombie mode.
Yeah,
like
it
very little,
looks like E-Day.
Yeah, very little like boarding up windows and then zombies
Yeah.
are trying to get in through the windows type of thing. Now, so is it just me or were the aliens in that trailer just completely some of the most generic aliens you've ever seen?
They probably look good when the artists draw them, but then and I say this about most video games that are released these
Okay.
days, it's like, I don't know, none of the aliens, I never see the aliens go, oh, well, that is a really neat design. It's all like, okay, another video game alien.
They just look
Great.
like dogs.
yeah, those
I mean,
look like glowing dogs.
Scaly dogs. Like, I mean, I was thinking about, okay, this trailer looks way, way better than Aliens Colonial Marines, but I was just thinking about how much scarier it is when you have a fucking xenomorph bearing down on you than a dog with a glowing face. So I don't know. I mean, you and I have never really been big fans of this. I wonder.
I mean, I don't know how much carryover there's going to be in the gameplay mechanics from Zombies, because Zombies I know has a huge following.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be a real replacement or if it is just something different.
Oh, I just had a wonderful idea.
Okay.
What if they did that thing? What was in Black Ops, where you remember in Black Ops you played as what was it Kennedy, Castro, Henry Kissinger?
Oh, yeah.
What if in here it was just like a who's who of alien killers? If it was like Ellen Ripley and Will
Yeah.
Smith from Independence Day, and
that would be pretty good. Yeah, that I'd play that.
yeah, I think that would make a lot more sense to me. And if they just all the aliens were just total ripoffs of either aliens from other video games or movies or whatever, dude. What if it was those? What if it was Mars Attacks aliens, but they were just like, yeah, they were really aggressive.
No, what if it was Natasha Henstridge?
Just a million Natasha Henstridges,
Yeah.
naked coming at you.
Exactly.
They all want to fornicate. No, I mean, yeah.
yay.
I mean, I don't know.
What a way to go.
And last,
You got to
but
cross your fingers like, well, maybe I'll be genetically perfect.
that's right. But last but not, hey, you know what? In that movie, She tried to totally give that dude who wasn't genetically that dude that had the diabetes or whatever.
Yeah.
She gave him an out, and then he got all rapey with her, and then she axed him.
Yeah,
And she was just like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Your blood is terrible. And then, all right. Well, last but not least, we have a pretty meh trailer
God,
for
that was the worst trailer.
Walking Dead season 2.
It was a trailer for season 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Showed a bunch of stuff from season 1, and then showed maybe a slightly older Clementine.
Yeah,
maybe
she was,
like
wearing something else, basically.
maybe like 400 days older. You think?
Yeah, you probably nailed it. That's very specific, Jeff.
And she's with zombies, and she's got the traditional telltale I'm scared look.
Yep.
And then she runs away.
Yep.
And that was the end of the trailer.
That is a shit trailer. It was a bad trailer.
But you know what? The thing about this that I'm curious is that they're apparently the first episode is coming later this year.
Yeah.
Of Walking Dead season 2. Does that mean that they're going to be running The Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead simultaneously?
Yeah, looks that way based on the timing. Sure.
Okay, so do you think I'm gonna put us down for bad prediction? It's bad prediction time here on Rage Select.
All right.
Walking Dead season 2, as good as season 1, better than season 1, not as good as season 1. What do you think?
Not as good.
Not as good?
Not as good.
I'm gonna go with same.
Same. Okay.
Same. Because I feel like they're just gonna pull the same heartstrings that they did before.
Sure.
I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to be radically different than season 1.
I think they're going to pull the same heartstrings, but it's going to be a little more ham-fisted.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I think 400 Days was, like, it was good. It was just more of the exact same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, they can't exactly change it to be a third-person action game from here on out.
Well, yeah. and who would want it to, really?
Yeah. Well, me. Kinda.
You.
A little bit. I don't know. State of Decay meets Walking Dead. I could get on board with that. Left 4 Dead 2 with complex character dialogue in between shooting billions of zombies. I could dig it. I could dig it.
Maybe.
All right. Well, from there, that's all the news we've got. So now it is time to answer your questions. Remember, if you want to send any questions, there's a link below, and that email address to send them to is mail@rageselect.com. We're actually starting to get a few people sending in questions that are not video game related. Because I feel like we've answered almost every hypothetical scenario that people have about video games.
So we can, on this, we're going to start answering questions that aren't video game related?
All I'm saying is that if you've got an entertaining question that is not completely video game related, I think we're all right with that. I mean,
sure. Why not?
I'll ask you, Jason. Would you rather answer what movie do you think would make a really good video game again, or what is the best topping to put onto pizza?
Pass.
Pass?
Pass.
Do you not like pizza?
Of course I like pizza. You don't like pizza.
No, I love pizza. It makes me insanely sick, and I eat it all the time. Like, I love it too much.
This is delicious. I'm going to shit myself.
That's kind of how it goes every time. I mean, unless I order a thin. Okay, let me ask you this: what's your go-to pizza joint? It's probably the hippie place though, because Allison's health, right?
You know, we don't really do a lot of pizza. I mean,
okay,
yeah, because there's the hippie place, Promise Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only place that could really feed her safely. But yeah, I don't care. Pizza's fucking pizza, man.
So you'll go with like Domino's.
Yeah, dude. Domino's got some good stuff.
I remember
Little Caesars.
Yeah. We were in California. And you picked up one of those $5 Little Caesars.
Hell yeah, son.
Yeah. I have to eat a very specific pizza if I don't want to get insanely sick. So that's why I just eat a lot of Chinese food instead. Because
okay,
you eat a lot of beef pepper steak and white rice and not get sick at all.
Are you lactose intolerant?
No. Eat cheese on all things all the time.
Okay, because you know who's lactose intolerant? Chinese people.
Oh, really?
Well, that's why not all of them.
Wait, what are you talking about?
But no, that's why.
Is this a setup for a racist joke?
No,
Okay.
It's not. That's why a lot of Asian food, most of it doesn't have any dairy.
Oh, yeah. I guess I never really thought about that. No cheese on your beef with broccoli.
Right.
Yeah. No, all I know is that both pizza joints and Chinese food joints will deliver to you when it's Sunday and you're hungover, and one makes me insanely ill and the other one does not. Not to say that I don't get a pizza, but also pizza's expensive. Usually end up spending like $20 or $30 on a pizza.
Dude.
Yeah.
Were you not here a second ago when we were talking about the $5 pizza from Little Caesars?
Well, but see, I guess when I get a pizza, I usually get it from Austin's Pizza,
Yeah.
which is super expensive. So
yeah.
But all right, well let's get into some emails here. This first email is from Chris, and he says, "Dear Rage Select, since you said you were looking for questions, even if they aren't about video games, are there any good science fiction books you can recommend? I love Cyberpunk, and Neuromancer is one of my favorites, though I'm open to any type of sci-fi." This is a Kevin question. Also for Iron Chef Kevin, are there any good chicken dishes that you can recommend to cook? Rage on, Chris. As not Kevin, I think Jason and I can both say, do whatever the fuck you want to with chicken. Chicken is delicious. It's very difficult to screw up.
I don't cook, man.
You boil a chicken, it's fine.
So I do not cook.
Put a lot of salt on it.
I have
it's
difficulty with the structure of a sandwich.
What?
Like I go to Subway and and they're like, "Oh, what do you want on that?" Could just some of this, and I put all these things in there. I'm like, "I like all of these things," and then I get it, and I'm like, "All of these things together taste like shit." And yeah, I can't do it.
These are the problems of an 8-year-old, my friend.
I know.
Why don't you start with like lettuce, tomato,
that's
and mayonnaise?
why I got married. I'm just like, make me the sandwich, and
So
she makes me an awesome sandwich. I'm like, this is fucking great. I would have totally ruined this.
Start with lettuce and tomato and mayo, and then go from there. Add some cucumbers in there.
Yeah, I
Put
screw
some
it up
olives.
all the time, man.
What are you putting? Like, give me the banana peppers and all of the.
It's like I'll put like banana peppers and Italian and pickles on there.
This
and
just vinegar
it's
sandwich.
Well, yes, it's like a vinegar sandwich.
You got to pick one of those things to put on.
See, I know, but I like all of those things, so I think if I put all of those things on there, it'll be that much better. And
Man,
it's not.
I don't truck with no pickles on a sandwich.
So I don't have any fucking chicken recipes. Maybe and you don't cook either.
No,
So-
but I have cooked chicken in the past, and as long as you don't not cook
I don't think I've ever cooked a chicken.
it's pretty easy.
I don't think I've ever cooked anything.
You can take that chicken and you can either rip it apart and put it onto various hot surfaces until it's delicious chicken.
Sure.
Or you can put the whole
Okay.
thing into the oven for like 2 hours and then it's delicious chicken.
I usually just smash open a wall and hope that there's a chicken in there.
Oh, there's an already. That's all the holes in your
A
apartment.
mysterious wall chicken.
All right. Well, this guy, Chris, I'm sorry. We can give you some recommendations, but I think that you need to be more specific about what you have and have not already read, because you've said you've read Neuromancer and you like it.
Yeah.
Well, we could start with obviously everything else that William Gibson has ever written.
Sure. I mean, some of the staples, Snow Crash.
Yeah. Neil Stevenson, Snow Crash and the Diamond Age. But yeah, the first thing I think that I would say to this guy is if you haven't read the other two books in the trilogy that Neuromancer forms, Mona Lisa Overdrive and Count Zero, those three all hook together to make a trilogy. And then there's the second trilogy, Idoru, Virtual Light, and All Tomorrow's Parties. And then there's the modern trilogy, which is Spook Country, Pattern Recognition, and the one I just finished that I can't remember the name of. I don't know. You say more science fiction.
Of course, Ender's Game.
Ender's Game
It's amazing.
Yep.
Ender's Shadow is actually really good. I haven't read the later books in the Formic saga.
Phobia,
But apparently they're badass.
Xenocide is pretty good. I didn't get beyond that one myself.
Apparently they're really good. I read one not too long ago by Alfred Bester called
Star's My Destination.
Star's My Destination.
Yeah, I just read that too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were talking about that. I kept wanting to call it Tiger. That's the UK title.
That was good. It was a little short. I expected it to go on longer.
Yeah, it was very much a Count of Monte Cristo type thing, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
In a way.
I finished a while back. I read the first two Hyperion books by
Dan Simmons.
Those
Yeah.
were really good. Dune, my all-time favorite science fiction of all time.
Yeah, you can get this gorgeous hardbound edition of Dune at Barnes & Noble. I saw it just the other night, and it was really cool looking.
Yeah.
Just really nice, thick cover.
I used to be really in love with what's his name? Starship Troopers Heinlein. But then when I started reading Frank Herbert, I was like, oh, Robert Heinlein's a child in his thinking.
Yeah. I actually like, and this is not really high sci-fi because, I don't know, a lot of it is dated and the science in it is kind of silly. But the Ray Bradbury science fiction stuff.
Sure.
Which is, some of those.
Martian Chronicles.
Yeah,
and
Martian Chronicles, some of that's just,
Fahrenheit 451. Well, that's kind of social commentary more.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
What was it? Oh, the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov.
Asimov, right?
Super
That's
good.
The trilogy, yeah.
The main thing for you, my friend, I would say, is find an author, and then you can usually run through, especially if it's somebody who was writing in the 70s or 80s, chances are they've got like 35 awesome books that you can read.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank Herbert was he wrote this series, The Desaadai Experiment, and there's another one. No, I've never heard anybody in my life recommend them to me. Excellent books if you can get in on them. The only thing to maybe caution, this is the only thing I would caution somebody getting into sci-fi, is you're going to read Snow Crash and you're going to be like, Neil Stephenson is a shit. You're going to read The Diamond Age and you'll be like, this is even better. And then you're going to look at Cryptonomicon.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to tell you right now, unless you're really into cryptography, World War II, and
Cryptonomicon nearly broke me, man.
those, you need to be really into those two
And
things.
telecom.
And telecom, yeah. And you need to really be into there, because that one almost broke me. It took me 3 tries to read it.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Cryptonomicon. Ew, fuck that.
It was good when I finally got through it. But then the series he did after that, the one that's set in like the Americas and like the
yeah.
1500s or something like that.
Yeah, what is that called?
That one, I don't know enough about history to understand. Like he's
Yeah.
making all of these references to historical figures and
Yeah.
stuff that you're supposed to just be like,
Yeah. Neil Stephenson, I think, has gotten into a place where it's like, look at all this research I did.
Right.
Wank, 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 wank. Research.
Right. So yeah, if you could probably just read Snow Crash and Diamond Age and then just be like, up, done.
Oh, and Philip K. Dick.
I disagree with you on that, but whatever. I don't like Philip K. Dick. John Scalzi's Old Man's War
Old Man's
series.
War, yep.
And what is it? The Foundation?
You said that.
No, not Foundation. I forget what the name of those books are. The Culture books. There's one called The Player of Games or something like that. A Master of Games or something like that. It's basically this whole series of books. I wish I had my Kindle sitting around here. I look up the guy's name. Here, you know what? Vamp, Jason, Vamp.
Okay, Jeff he's going to the Google. No, no,
I am going to the Google.
I like the Philip K. Dick stuff.
There we go.
I think the guy was a mad genius, and emphasis on
Boom.
mad.
Yeah.
He was quite insane.
Ian Ian M. Banks. He's written a whole bunch of these books that are all about this universe spanning culture that is run by machines, and it's pretty cool. But the first one that I read was called The Player of Games, and it is a really, really good book. And I didn't realize that shit came out in 1988. Holy crap. I didn't realize this shit had been around that long. Anyway, so yeah, that
There
should
you
be
go.
enough to keep you going for a year or two.
Yeah.
Get back to us when you're done with all of those. And then tell us the ones that you found, because I always want some more books. All right, this one's kind of long. This one is from B-Hammer 100. All right, Jeff, since you complained about not having many podcast questions a week ago, I thought I would send you guys a few questions of my own. One, I know you guys are just a little excited about the upcoming release of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's today!
It's today.
I was wondering if you guys heard about the new upcoming pirate show, Black Sails, airing on Stars. Have you heard about this? What do you think? I don't get Stars, but I'll be paying attention to the reviews, and if it is good, I might check it out. I think make it a little like Deadwood, and I'll be on board. Have you heard about this thing?
I have not. I usually wait until people are. Everybody else is my filter for news and pop culture and everything. It's like I wait for everybody to start raving about it on Twitter and to tell me you need to watch this, or something like that. Read this comic or whatever, and then I'll pick it up. But except for S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm watching, even though it's just
I
fucking
stopped.
vanilla.
I finally stopped.
But no, I haven't heard of Black Sails.
Neither have I.
I like a good pirate TV show. That could be cool.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's like Deadwood, where everybody's calling each other cocksucker all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, Stars is where Spartacus is, and that's full of boobs and blood and guts and shit like that.
Boobies.
Dude, I am a sucker for any kind of pirate fiction. I even kind of like what was that terrible Gina Davis movie? Cutthroat Island.
Cutthroat Island.
Like, part of me knows it's a really shitty movie, but the other part of me is like, but it's pirates.
I never did watch it.
And that Gina Davis, she's so tall. I dig the tall ones, man. So yeah, I think that
She's an archer.
What?
She is an accomplished, like, Olympic level archer.
Oh, I thought you said she's in Archer. I was
No.
just like, what? Who?
No, Gina Davis. Well, speaking of tall women, Lana.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gina Davis is an Olympic level archer.
Okay. Yeah, I will totally check that out because, like I said, I'm a sucker for pirate stuff. Also, yeah, it's interesting the group that we hang out with. You don't really even have to worry about hearing about stuff because people are like, "Oh, have you seen Orphan Black?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Totally watch it." I'm like, "Wow, that's great."
Yeah. It's like I've got enough to watch though right now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still trying to finish Fringe.
Dude, I'm just trying to finish the video games.
Yeah.
That's what people get on. What do you mean you haven't seen this show or this movie? I'm like, all the video games.
Everything.
All right, I'm gonna answer all these guys' questions. We're gonna do it quickly. 2, have you seen a show called Get a Life?
Yes.
I'm just gonna stop you right there and say yes. That show is fucking badass.
I haven't thought of that in so long.
Chris Elliott is awesome. Also, Cabin Boy is a badass movie.
Want to buy a monkey?
Because they sampled Half Man, Half Shark for Dr. Octagon's Half Shark, Alligator Man song from that movie. So, Cabin Boy.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm in college. If one of my classes, I have to do an audio essay. I hate it. I don't know how you guys can do it every day. I guess only classy guys can do this sort of thing. And I decided to do it on whether or not video games cause real-life violence. Sure, you guys talked about it before, but where do you stand? Do you think it's all up to parents? Do you think blaming video games is just a thing to do nowadays? Because it's a fairly new thing, and in a few years we will move on to something else. Yes. I know people blamed comic books back in the day for destroying the youth of America. Do you think video games are this generation's comic books? Let's see. Oh, and great pick for Sequential Saturdays. I should have known the only true successor after Gary Marzipan was Batman. Can't wait to see what helpful little tips Batman whispers into the ears of the goons he chokes out. Thanks for your time, Jeff Jason. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay classy as always. So we've answered this before, but you want to just reiterate real fast?
Yeah.
The causality argument is bullshit.
Yeah, it's stupid, and if you think otherwise, I will fucking cut you.
You see, video
See
games.
what I did there?
Video games haven't caused any violence in Jason. No,
Yeah, no.
The first thing that most people point out, that somebody pointed out a long time ago, is if you're going to make a causality thing, then you should have higher numbers. Because if you're going to make a causality argument that video games cause people to be violent, then by definition, if you take the number of violent people and you divide them by the number who play video games, your percentage of people who have been turned violent by video games is like 0.0000001%.
Name one of the most heinous crimes in history committed by like one person.
Stalin's genocide. It's
Not a
gulags.
gamer.
Yes, not a gamer.
Name another one. Not a fucking gamer.
Not a gamer.
Hitler, not
a
a
few-
gamer.
there's a few.
Charles Whitman, not a gamer. Charles Manson, not a gamer.
True.
So shut up.
Yeah. In fact, I was reading.
Some people are fucking crazy.
I was
That's
reading-
the long and the short of it.
If you want to actually throw something into somebody's face, do some research. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there was a guy in like Finland or Norway or something. Do you know this? Who like took a gun to like a youth retreat camp and
Like an island or something?
Yeah, like shot a bunch of kids and like
Yeah.
it was way worse than a lot of the crime that we have here when it comes to random school shootings.
Yep.
This guy's reasoning, he was super religious and he did it for God.
Huh.
Like nothing to do with video games. This guy was a super fundamentalist. The thing is that some people are just wired up badly, and or in Allison's words,
The robots are broken.
robots are broken. So yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it probably doesn't have any impact, but most human beings who have any kind of violent urge are able to go, "Ooh, I really want to kill that guy," but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
because I would get in trouble.
And he's a human being.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, really, you can't cherry pick like that.
No.
Places are so quick to blame video games on violence. And yeah, they're the common scapegoat right now. Like in the 80s, it was like slasher films and Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons!
What was that fucking
Mazes and Monsters
there you go.
with Tom Hanks?
I was going to say Tim Allen, but it wasn't Tim Allen.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, Mazes and Monsters with Tom, it's Dungeons and Dragons and
Plus, I mean, just look at the figures for like violent street crime and random shootings and robberies and things like.
it's like give them an Xbox and get them off the fucking street.
Right. Plus, a lot of times, I mean, I can't say for sure. This will be up to you to do your own research, but I hear from people who seem to research this stuff more than I do that in general, if you look at violent crime statistics, that they are going down. They tend to have been sloping down over the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't say that for sure, but I keep seeing statistics on that brought up. At the end of the day, what it really comes down to is if you take all of society and you water it down so that nobody has anything that could ever hurt themselves with, we're all going to be in straitjackets, eating pudding 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and the people have been putting on their grandmother's underwear, smearing cow shit on themselves, and taking a machete into the Arby's long before there were video games.
What a specific set of circumstances.
It's in my dream journal.
Okay.
But yeah, people have been going haywire since way before video games.
Yep.
And as proliferate as they are, to say that they caused that, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, look at how many people play them and how many of those people don't go berserk.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, moving on. Let's go to this one. Is from the Board Accountant. Hello, Jeff and Jason. After Rage Select becomes an international phenomenon, Hollywood wants some of the action and buys the rights for a movie. Both of you have been brought on as producers, but must cast the roles of Jeff, Jason, Kevin, and most importantly, Loretta. What actors and actresses are you choosing for the big movie, greatest podcast ever, The Board Accountant?
Oh man, I'm not.
Should we be allowed to cast ourselves, or?
I guess we're not.
Okay. So
Brought on must cast the roles of. Okay. So yeah, no, he's wanting.
Jason will be Forrest Whitaker, obviously.
Yeah. Shit, man, ghost dog. Yeah.
It's uncanny.
I am the butler.
It's uncanny.
I was actually up for the role of the butler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Kevin,
Didn't
obviously
happen
by
because they're racist and wouldn't cast a white man.
I don't like where this is going. I'm going to circle back around to this question.
Jeff would clearly be Charlton Heston.
Paul Giamatti. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour. Yeah. Let's go that route. I'll be Paul Giamatti.
You be Paul
You
Giamatti.
could be Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Best buddy cop movie ever.
Yeah. And Kevin can be. He's not here, so I'm going to say something horrible.
Okay.
I can't think.
Sean Connery.
How is that horrible?
Oh, that's not. Oh, you want somebody bad? Borat.
Borat. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've never actually met Kevin in person. You have.
Yeah. Kevin's he's like way taller than you think he is. So it needs to be somebody who's like way tall. Who's way tall? What about that? No. I was gonna say
Manute Bol as Kevin.
Jason Sudeikis. No, not Jason Sudeikis. The guy that's on
Jason Voorhees?
that was in the Muppets the movie.
Oh,
The
yeah,
big
that
tall
guy.
But that's
Yeah. Can't remember his name.
he's got a kind of an entirely different outlook on life than Kevin.
Yeah.
George Carlin, if he was still alive, like Kevin.
And who would play Loretta? We'd have to genetically engineer Loretta.
Helen Mirren, obviously.
Oh.
She's a chameleon. She could play anything.
Helen Mirren's still attractive, though.
How about Meryl Streep with a lot of makeup.
A lot of, prosthetics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She could do it.
Robots. All played by robots.
Yep.
Or no, Pixar animations. Then we could be various talking inanimate objects.
Yeah.
That'll be the story of Rage Select. All right, next question comes in from Jujitsu, and he says, hello, Jeff and Jason. Are there any games that you think are pretentious? How do you distinguish them from artistic games? Great job with the site. Keep up rage casting. Puppet Masters Jujitsu. I was having a hard time. I was thinking about this earlier. Games that are real up on their high horse. No, I do know. I do know. There was
There's one on the that I'm right there from remembering it, but I can't. So
Can you tell me anything about it?
No.
I
know there's one that I have marked as pretentious before, but I can't think of what it is.
Okay, a lot of times to me it tends to be games that have a social statement, but there's one that I remember very specifically that was a web game called The Artist is Present. Do you know about this?
Oh, you know
It was
what?
A simulation of waiting in line to see the Maria Abramovic or whatever
Yeah.
thing, and you had to actually wait your character in line for like 2 or 3 hours, and if you tried to cut the line, it was game over. And if you got out of line, then they would go and they would fill in your place or whatever. It was
Go
just
to hell.
What the fuck is the point of this? I don't understand.
What do you think about Papers, Please?
Papers, Please? I think Papers, Please has enough gameplay that
I don't think it is. I don't think it's pretentious.
I thought about El Shaddai, but that's more confusing than pretentious.
Yeah. I can't think of one that's actually pretentious, but
that's
I
real
know there are
haughty up on its high horse about.
Yeah.
We're making a social statement about.
Yeah. The people who
You know what? Let's
try to tackle
Geblurg, yeah.
in video games are just assholes.
Pretentious. Let's just type it into
Yeah.
Google. Let's do.
Yeah.
Here we go. Pretentious
Google
video
will tell
games.
us.
Pretentious video games. Oh, good. A something awful thread. That's a.
That's good.
Oh no, this is a Photoshop challenge. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, not that.
Most pretentious video games.
I don't know. What do you say about the Ellen Page one and
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls or like Heavy Rain, those things.
Well,
It's probably what he's getting at, right?
yeah, probably. I mean, I think some of those are. It kind of also depends on what you mean by pretentious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily think that that you shouldn't let a developer who has managed to con somebody into giving them the money to make a video game that they want to make, let them make that video game.
Right.
Let's see. We got some Heavy Rains here. Limbo. I disagree. Heavy Rain. BioShock. I could see how people might think BioShock was pretentious.
Yeah, maybe, I
It was
guess.
doing a lot of that Ayn Rand stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with. I don't necessarily think there has been any game that stands out as being like.
Well,
super
they're all
pretentious.
going to be, indie games.
Well, I don't know. See, like here, somebody is saying
most of them.
MGS, Metal Gear Solid, is
Okay.
like being super. But see, once again, kind of depends on. I have maybe a different version of pretentious in my mind than what they're thinking of between pretentious and just kind of like up its own ass.
Yeah.
Which kind of is different. Like I feel like pretentious is very much looking down upon you, the person interacting with it,
Okay.
as opposed to just full of itself. I don't know.
Yeah, can't think of any.
Can't think of any, man. Sorry. How about we'll go with overhyped games?
Overhyped?
Sure. What do you think?
Well, the Call of Duty series, the Halo games. Yeah, those are big ones.
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Well, yeah. The recent Zelda entries.
Yeah. That new Zelda game is coming out for the 3DS. And I'd like to say right now to
I'm curious
the
about
folks
it.
out there who keep saying you guys should totally play this 3DS game on the show. I don't know how to do video capture for a 3DS.
Yeah.
Like there's one place on
We
the
got some
internet
shortcomings there.
that used to sell a mod kit for it, but they're out. And you would have to ship your 3DS to them, and it costs like $400.
Oh,
and it would
Jesus.
take 6 weeks to get back to you.
No,
It's
not
like,
worth it.
No. All right, well let's move along to our next question. This one comes in from Trilby. Hello, Jeff and Jason, or whoever is co-hosting. Yada yada yada. Long-time watcher and listener. I've been enjoying your content since the before time. My question is related to something that happens in the YouTube gaming space over the past week, where PC gaming critic Total Biscuit had his negative reaction video to an indie game called Day One Gary's Incident forcibly removed from YouTube by developers of the game, Wild Game Studios, because they didn't like the fact that it was a negative review. Wild Game Studios abused YouTube's copyright-protected features in order to actively censor and silence the most viewed negative review of their game. After an uproar online, the video is put back online, but I would like to know your thoughts on the issue. Do you think an entertainment company has the right to silence negative opinions on the product because they don't want bad press? No. I don't agree with this because I'm a human being with a functioning brain, and as a YouTube, I've had companies try to have my opinions censored. Did a negative review of Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1, which has nearly 2 million views by Summit Entertainment, but Summit Entertainment sent me a cease and desist email solely on the basis of my review being negative and, quote, damaging the company's reputation. My response was, if you don't want people saying bad things about your product, don't make a bad product. Rage on. From William, a.k.a. Trilby. Did you see this? Do you know who Total Biscuit is? first of all?
Somebody, maybe it was Trilby. Somebody sent me an email, I think over Facebook, and I didn't really have time to dig into it, but I kind of heard of what was going on. I don't know who Total Biscuit is.
He's this British guy that mostly just does voiceover, and they do a
Okay.
lot of like indie game looking
Okay.
at stuff like that. And he actually sent if you watch the video, he actually sent a request to the studio that made this, asking them for a Steam key for it with like a listing of what he does, and here's some example videos and all these different things, and they sent him back a Steam key.
Sure.
And so the implication from all the videos that he sent them and the language in the thing was that like, yo, dog, I'm going to monetize this shit. Like, I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel. I'm going to monetize it. We're going to totally look at it.
Right.
Then when it went up and it was negative, they basically slapped him with a, well, we do not give our consent to let this person monetize our gameplay footage. But they only did it with him.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of other videos also negative out there that they did do it with. His was the most viewed on there. And he talks in the video about how this activity is seen a lot of times with smaller studios, but sometimes even bigger studios. Apparently at one point, I think it was Sega that he was talking about in there, went out and shut down a bunch of popular, I think it was Shining Force videos on YouTube, so that if you did a search for Shining Force, the new trailer for their new game was the first thing that would come up and didn't get eclipsed by these other things.
That is horribly unethical. I mean, you see that a lot of our friends are film critics, and I have heard of this before with them, where they will give, and it doesn't happen very often. In fact, it's exceptionally rare.
Yeah.
But I have heard of, or at least implications of this, or insinuations of this happening where, say, someone gives I don't even want to use a company name because I'm just making up an example.
Okay.
Someone gives a negative review to a movie that is produced by Studio A.
Studio A, they make some of my favorite movies.
Movie Studio A. And so Movie Studio A says, okay, this critic and anyone from this outlet that he writes for is no longer allowed to any of the screenings for Studio A.
Yep.
It's that kind of thing.
Yep.
And that is some suppressive, horrible behavior.
Okay, well, this is probably going to be the meat of this segment because I've been thinking about that as well because I've been trying to contact certain companies to get us review copies of video games because it's expensive to get all these. I mean, every game is $60. We want to try to review everything, but it's hard. I spend a lot of my own money just on buying stuff. But you come into this weird thing where I feel like there should be a third party besides the content producers and critics. Somebody that acts as like a non-partial intermediary. Because the thing is that, all right, say we get EA to give us a copy of Battlefield 4.
Right.
And then we hate Battlefield 4.
Right.
We give it a 0. And let's just say for the sake of argument that when we do that we're completely off base with what we're talking about.
Sure.
We're taking all the wrong things into consideration. Let's just say that my computer's crappy and it doesn't look good on it, and I don't take that into consideration, and that not cutting the game any slack and making all these bogus arguments. Well, if you're EA, you're probably not going to want to work with us ever again. But the problem comes in that when you look at it from the other side of the equation, you go, if you're if you're a critic that is very critical about the things that you're getting copies of, why should the studio go out of their way to make it easy for you to see this stuff?
Right.
To see it early, to give you a free
Sure.
copy of it,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah.
Like, why would you give this person ammo with which to go out there and bang on you with? Now,
Right. I get that.
so it's a
I
weird,
understand.
It's a weird thing, and we are actually in a really good position because nobody really gives us shit. I've gotten a couple. I got Shadow Warrior, I got Grand Theft Auto, but like,
that's
EA,
it.
Warner Brothers, and Ubisoft were all just like,
Yeah. We're very much under the radar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that you only really get into that when usually. I think this is a little different, this one we're talking about, because this is such an indie game. But usually you only get into situations like this, like if you're, I don't know, Jeff Gerstmann from GameSpot. It's that kind of thing.
But see, it also wanders off into the realm also of we're still not at a point where we've come to a decision as a society about what is a Let's Play and who has control of that.
Sure.
Because it's not the same as a movie. It's not the same as a TV show, putting an episode of a TV show up,
Right.
or anything like that. I mean, it is by necessity a transformative work. Like we couldn't sell dojo episodes like they sell riff tracks, because when you play the game, it's like you put our commentary
it's gonna
on.
be different every time,
Right. So when we played the game, we didn't make Assassin's Creed 4, but our playthrough of, or here's a go back in time, even easier. We didn't make Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, but we did make Gary Marzipan.
Right.
We named his horses. We did a bunch of shenanigans that were not like specifically in the game. So you go, part of what this video is attributed to us.
Well, it's a very dynamic art form.
Exactly.
Video games. Yeah, it's going to be different every single time.
So,
unless you're playing Walking Dead, where it just thinks that you make it, where it makes you think that it's different every time, and it's not.
That new trailer really kind of got under your skin. It's just kind of brought back some memories.
Yeah, it just reminded me of all that shit.
But I think that one of the major things, like with movie reviews, is there is a critics organization that if the studios get horsey, they can band together and they can say, well, then fuck you, we're not going to review your movie.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to go see it. Like,
But that they are a loosely knit at best and petty crowd.
right. But still, there is an organization. Whereas right now, Let's Players are a bunch of random ass
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, it's a bunch of untalented jackasses.
Well, let's not go that far. Come on, man.
Us too.
Bread and butter, Jason. Come on.
No, I'm just saying, hey, most Let's Plays are just a couple of guys or a couple of people sitting there talking shit over a video game.
Yeah.
It's not like you're writing a critique of a game that's...
Hey, you know what? EA did not send me the two puppets who talk before and after each video that we put up, or the green screen or the lights or the video camera, any of that stuff. So
true.
But I don't know. It basically comes down to, I think that nobody has been... You're going to probably see small instances of this, but as the Let's Play community gets bigger, which I think is only going to happen with the new consoles and the Twitch streams and stuff like that, that we're going to start to come to a point of critical mass where the companies, if they do try to shut this shit down, are going to face a giant backlash, just like this guy has faced by trying to take on a very popular YouTuber who then made a video saying, like, this is what happened. This guy didn't like the fact that I said his shit game is shit, and so he used some bullshit to get my video taken down. And that you're just going to look worse the more you fight this in the future. It is something, though, that I sit around nightly scratching my face like a meth addict trying to be like, oh, what if they... Right now, we're a YouTube partner, so we have somebody else that basically deals with that stuff for us. But there's a very good possibility that I mean, we already know that Nintendo will take your revenue.
Oh, yeah.
They just seize your fucking revenue for your videos. Like, they don't even bother anymore. So, I don't know.
Which, fine. Whatever.
I
just don't want them taking it down,
Yeah, me too. I mean, to be honest, most of the money that we raise for this website doesn't come from our YouTube hits.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if we can leave it up and not monetize it, that's fine. All right, next to the last question here we've got is from David, and he says, Dear Selectors of Rage, I had put about 10 to 15 hours into Arkham Origins on the 360 when the game decided to completely crash and corrupt my save file. Ugh. It's really made me question whether I want to start over or not. My question is, what is the worst malfunction you've ever seen in a major release? What effect do glitches in games have on you? Jason and Bo's love child, David. You know who this is?
Yeah, you remember him? I remember him.
No.
Yeah.
Who?
I'll show you the picture.
Okay. I'm sorry,
It's
man.
in my scrapbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it that one in that room in your house that has all the candles around it with the skulls and the Dia de los Muertos stuff?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah. So let's see. How often can you count in your life have you had a gameplay crash that corrupted a save game?
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It was been almost invariably PC gaming.
Yeah.
Almost invariably. Not completely. Like, Kristen and I did that.
Lara Croft.
Lara Croft.
Guardian of Light.
Guardian of Light. That's
Yeah.
what it was. We did that. Well, back when that first came out, Allison and I played it at home, and we played all the way through it. We were like on the last level, and then something just like screwed up where we would have had to start over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just said, nope, I'm done. And I never played it again until that Sparkle Fandango with Kristen.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, to me, it seemed like one of the ways that this shit got fixed was that we started seeing more auto-saving
Yeah.
and more tiered autosaving.
Yeah.
Where you can go back to a checkpoint or that, or games where they will unlock chapters that you can go back to
Yeah, right.
as you're playing them instead of waiting
Yeah.
until the entire game is over.
Yeah, exactly. Like back in the day, you didn't really see a lot of that, and a lot of it was,
no.
well, I just have to start over.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, it used to be on the PC that if you didn't save your game,
yeah.
your motherfucking game wasn't saved.
Yeah, or your or I saw a lot more corrupted save files
Yeah.
on the PC back, again, years ago.
Also, do you remember the time before quick saves?
Oh yeah.
When there was no quick save button on the PC?
Yeah, it was either
It was a dark time.
it was either finish the level,
Yep.
save then, or escape, go to save, type in a name for it.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
So I can say that the worst malfunction I've ever seen in a major release had to be when I went out and bought the $50 copy of Battlecruiser 3000 AD, the one that Take Two
Yeah.
shoved out the door when it was broken.
Oh, yeah.
Before the internet and patching, just sold a $50 broken game. And I had been waiting for that game for a long time, and I took it home and was like, oh, man.
Mine would have to be King's Quest X.
I don't think I was still with King's Quest at that point, but I heard that a bad,
It was
bad
an
thing.
atrocity. Wait, no, not King's Quest. Well, no, that was bad. Was it King's Quest X? I meant Ultima.
Oh, yeah.
That busted Ultima. What was-
really terrible one.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
9, right? Because it was pagan.
something like that.
And
yeah.
then, yeah.
Yeah, it was the last Ultima that was released, and that was just an abortion.
Yeah.
But the last King's Quest game that was released, it wasn't. It was all
I remember
kinds
it was
of.
very weird.
It was all kinds of broke. Oh, shit! Quest for Glory 4, the Transylvanian one.
Uh-huh.
There was a game-killing bug in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's been 20 years since I played it, but I think it was you couldn't finish that game. Mm-hmm. Period.
Well, I guess one of the big ones is always, Shadowrun? Or no, not Shadowrun. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, right,
The old one where you can get the Babelfish or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, we live in a pretty golden time where a lot of this stuff gets sorted out faster, and you have updates. I mean, it used to be patches, before internet, like,
Yeah.
you didn't get patches very often,
Oh, yeah.
if hardly at all.
And
So-
that was one of the things that bothered me about at first when we first started seeing game systems, consoles, that is, come with hard drives and be connected to the internet, because I was like, oh, great, that means shit's going to start getting patched.
Yeah.
Which you say that, oh, we have the ability to patch.
Right.
But look at it from the developer standpoint, ship it. We'll just patch it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to start seeing that on consoles. Fortunately, you do start seeing it on consoles, but it usually automatically does it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, usually there's a day one patch that you have to deal with when you get something, which you didn't used to have to do. But
yeah, what 99 times out of 100 now.
yeah, yeah. But that's not, considering the cert process and things like that. I don't necessarily have a serious problem with that. As far as his second question about what effect do glitches in games have on you, it depends. Like if you're
Yeah,
talking
depends on
about
what it is.
game-breaking bugs, like you were talking about, where you're 10 hours in and then like for some reason it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Usually at that point I will put that game aside.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm going to come back to you in a year when I'm not pissed anymore.
Oh yeah, if I put 10 or 15 hours into something and then I lose it,
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I'm done. Like, nope, fuck you.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised to see that there's been a lot of Arkham Origins like crashing stuff stories out there.
Yeah,
I'm playing it on the
I'm
PC and I have one game-breaking bug that won't let me get to 100% completion. But yeah, it's kind of strange in this particular day and age, the way that we expect a certain amount of quality and refine QA in our games before we get them. So I don't know. I think it's weird that that's still happening. I kind of am though more willing to give it a pass on like indie games or things like that.
Sure.
Smaller games
Yeah.
sometimes or more experimental games. But in general, I'd say that over the last 10 years, my tolerance for this game locked up or crashed has become way lower than it used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be, you'd be like, oh shit, I'm playing a PC game until, oh, well, it crashed. This free mod for Half-Life. Well, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Now it's like, what? What do you mean fucking locked up in the middle of this fight with Bane? Fuck you, video game. Eat my balls. And finally, because I'm a masochist, here is a question from Sondre.
He's from Norway.
Yep. This is, hi, Jeff and Jason. My name is Sondre, and I hope I'm saying that right. I've been a huge fan of you guys a couple years now. I just want to say thanks for being extremely clever and funny. Whoa, I don't know who he's talking about. You're definitely the best podcast out there, right behind Carl Pilkington's rambling, though. Anyway, I have two questions for you guys. One, no, you guys dream about Watch Dogs, Battlefield 4, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, etc., but I can't wait for South Park: The Stick of Truth. I haven't heard you guys talking about it in the past, so I just want to ask, are you psyched for this game? Seems like Trey and Matt have really put their heart and soul into this game. I think it's going to be based on a Skyrim-ish gameplay and right in my alley. Should be up my alley. But I love South Park, although it sucks donkey balls nowadays. I don't know about that. And then two, okay, we'll get to two later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We saw a little bit, very little, at E3.
Well,
And it's been coming forever, right?
yeah, my thing, though. It's time to bring up the thing that everybody yells at me for.
Oh, what?
You know who the developer of South Park: Stick of Truth is?
Oh, yeah.
It's Obsidian.
Yep.
So here's the thing, Sondra. I don't know if that's your first or last name. Here's the thing. Oh, it appears to be your first name. I don't like Obsidian.
Yeah.
I hate Obsidian. I love South Park, though.
Yeah.
So I'm in a real weird place with this game where I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to cover it. There's no way that we're not going to cover this game because it's been in development. It looks like the first actually good South Park game to come out. Everything that I've read about it sounds like it's extremely clever and that the systems are all very well implemented and stuff like that. So for me, I'm willing to let my love of South Park overcome my hate of Obsidian and give this thing a shot. I'm going to say this for the billionth time, Jason, I don't want the games that Obsidian makes. I don't want to not like them. I want to like every one of them.
Right, sure.
I love Fallout. I played 200 hours of Fallout 3. I really wanted to like New Vegas. I just didn't care for it. I bought Alpha Protocol and was super excited for Alpha Protocol. Just didn't really care for it when it came out. So I really want this game to be good, and I'm hoping that with the guiding hands of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, that it will be a good game. That those guys have enough of a handle on how to deal with their own properties that they will keep Obsidian from making any super bad decisions when it comes to gameplay.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen much about gameplay or anything, so I can't really say. As far as like South Park goes, I like South Park. I never haven't like drifted away and not liked it. I just kind of haven't paid much attention to it in a long time.
Sure, I can see that.
Not for any real reason, just because, South Park is still a thing. Okay,
Was it, like last week or something was the first time that they've ever missed a deadline because of either it was a telecom or a power outage?
Oh, really?
Did you ever watch 7 Days to Air?
No, I heard about it.
Because, a lot of times they end up streaming the raw footage to, like, the broadcaster on the day that it's being put out there. Yeah, a few times, but usually they end up shoving the show over. Like, they finish the show usually hours before it goes on the air. And so they had some kind of telecom or power failure or something like that. They couldn't get the show over to Comedy Central, so they weren't able to get it out last week. But I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I have to say that, not to be stereotypical or anything, but, you and I, we're a little bit more about stabby, shooty, pirate shippy, setting stuff on fire with tanks type of thing.
Hey, this might be a lot of fun. It'll at least be hilarious.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Also, number 2, if you had $1 gazillion and you could design your own game, what type of game would it be and why? Actually, I answered that last week. Keep on raging the select dudes and peace out. I am from Norway. Probably why you think my name is pretty weird. Do you have a dream game? We've answered this question a bunch of times before.
We have.
I'll go with a different answer this time.
I would like to see a giant sandbox game that plays kind of like GTA 5, where you can switch between characters, but the characters are Spider-Man, Daredevil, and the Punisher, and it's in New York.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, you know what? We've actually been talking about this. If I had $1 gazillion and could make my own game right now, it would be the SCP game that we all deserve at this point, because we've been cracking out on that shit on the SCP Foundation project page. Which, if you guys haven't looked it up, you should totally look that shit up because it's really interesting.
Creepy stuff. It's a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, and that's it. We're done. That's the show for this week. We cannot do this show without your questions, though. So please send us questions to mail@rageselect.com. That is mail@rageselect.com. If you're on the website, there should be a link down below that shows you that. Well, you can just hit and type in whatever question you want.
Pictures of your testicles are welcomed. Hairier the better.
You know, I'm going to stop stopping you from saying that because I haven't had any in several months. So.
Oh.
And I never got any boob pictures.
I know.
I would have let you know.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So until then, we have, let's see, by the time you guys see this, we'll probably be right in the middle of a huge week of gaming. Next week, we've got more gaming stuff. Remember our question about what do you guys want to see out of the console launches? Anything particular? Anything you guys are wondering? I can't really think of anything that would be, I don't know.
Noteworthy.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll come up with
Here's a
something.
picture of Grant dancing with the console.
Yeah.
Is that...
This magic moment.
It should just be you slow dancing with a PS4.
Yeah.